Good morning, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're well. Hope you've had a good break, feel refreshed, and are back into dominating this market. So remember, it's always good to have a break simply because the market will always be here, and it's good to have a break so you feel refreshed and you're more committed and you're more motivated to come back in. So as always, we're going to go through the high time frame for GBPUSD, have a look, see where it's going, find some levels to trade from, and have a bullish plan and a bearish plan as always, and then you can see what my opinion is regarding this and where it's going to head to. So without further ado, let's get with it. And if you remember, this on the monthly time frame. So we have this parallel channel that we've seen play out really well, to be honest, and it's respected the bottom. You can see here the middle and the top as well, and we're at this level here. And if you remember, I mentioned this level before we even ever hit that there were two major resistances of that. One was the 666 level. There we go, 0.66 and the 0.7 around there. So this was level resistance. And the other major one was, if you remember, we did an Elliott wave count. And as you can see, we did wave 1 from the top to here, wave 2, short wave 2, and then extended wave 3, and then the wave 4. And so if we go in the weekly chart, you will see what I mean when I said that this amount of resistance we had at this level was just phenomenal, apart from the Fibonacci retracement that we did. So if we do a little right here, so where we drew the wave, end of wave 1 and starting the wave 2. So remember, with Elliott wave, wave 4 cannot enter into wave 2 territory. That's the rule. It's a solid rule. Otherwise, your Elliott wave count is cancelled. It's not valid. It's invalidated. So if we drew a line from there, as you can see, we did not break into it. We were just below it. I remember there was a monthly level there. We never hit it, and we came back down from there. And so we had the Fibonacci level. We had this Elliott wave count. And you can see it's generally a monthly level as well, and just a resistance level, and then we've gone back down from there. So how far are we going to go? Well, the minimum that we can always go is around the 6.618 level. So if we were to draw from here, so the minimum level that we're going to do, if our count is still validated, is 1.4, so $1.14. So I know we're at $1.27, but hey, I'm calling it $1.14. If Elliott wave is still validated. And how low can it go? Well, we can have an extended wave 5. So you know how wave 3 was here, so we can easily follow this parallel level, come up all the way to 97 cents, which if you think sort of makes sense, that $100 or $1 is the big sort of support or psychological level. So a lot of people would be expecting for it to bounce from there, so it will go below it, hit the 97 cents, and then potentially make its way up. But we are far away from there, and we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Okay, so let's get rid of that, and then we can draw some new levels. Okay, we'll leave that just because that is a solid resistance level, but we can leave it in there. So let's go back to the monthly chart and start doing some levels. We can go with that for a second. Okay. So on the monthly, what do we have post buy? So we've got this level here, this recent one that we've got. Okay, and below us we've got this monthly that we've hit through and come back up. Okay, and below us again, this monthly here. We've got this one as well, but this one's broken through it. We've broken through this level, and I just feel this level is a lot more Well, it's unbroken at the moment, that's for sure. This one, we've gone through it once, to be honest. But as you can see, we've got this lower level of confidence here. So we've got these, there was support sort of turned into resistance, went through it again, came back here, we sort of went back down again. So I think it's still worth putting this one on, to be honest. You can always look at the reaction when you get there. Okay. And above us, we've got this monthly here, but we can that's the monthly I was talking about, to say that we hit that, but we never actually, well, we didn't hit it actually. We came too close to it, but very, we didn't really hit it. Okay, so well, perhaps we did on this. Okay. Okay. Well, we hit the monthly, but we never hit the actual wave 2 level. Okay. Yeah, right. I think it was on the other, when I was trading on capital.com, they never even hit the monthly, but on this one, they hit the monthly. So I have changed from capital.com to FXCM chart. I feel this is better volume and it's more accurate, because which makes sense, as you can see the capital.com one, this never hit the monthly, but on this one it has. It makes perfect sense to hit the monthly and come back down. So I'm excited to use this chart. I feel this will be a lot more accurate, and we'll try using the volume profile as well on this, because it'll be a lot more accurate. Okay, so I think that's enough for the monthly. I mean, we could probably do one more really, because this one is just so obvious here. As you can see, we've got constant resistance, and with support. So if it comes back down here, we'll definitely get some sort of support, some sort of bounce. Right, okay, so let's go weekly. Weekly levels. Before we do that, let's put these in a folder. Monthly. And as you know, the reason why that's important is so that we can then turn them off to have clearer pictures. Otherwise, the chart gets very messy and confusing. Right? Okay, so we'll leave that on for the time being, because we're going to go into the weekly level. Okay. So anything above us? Got this level here, but we've got the monthly there anyway, so it's no point putting one on. But these, as you can see, there is a lot of resistance at this level, because there was constantly resistance, turning to support. We tested the support third time, but sort of weren't able to use it as support much. It's turned into resistance. So I don't see why not we can potentially hit it one more time and then come back down again. So that is, but solid level of resistance, because we've got the monthly, and then obviously the weekly levels are lining up really well as well. So nothing above us, below us. We've got this, again, we've got the week monthly here, and then the weeklies lining up well as well with all this confluence. So I'm not going to put a weekly there. We could put this one here, the one that we just that now, to be honest. I think that would be useful for intraday trading. Okay, we're probably at that level really, but still useful. And then below us, we've got this. And it's so close to the monthly, but still worth it. Level here as well. And the reason why I put this is because we've tried to come down and we've had a solid level of support from there. So this zone, this area is still support around that area. So I think that we could potentially have support from there. Right, and going further back up, again, this monthly level there, it's just really good, really. This level of support, the level of resistance that's going to have is a lot. It's going back all the way to April 22, and it was resistance basically, because it went straight back down, straight through it. over here. There we go. So it's talking about the zone of this weekly. As you can see, if we go back all the way here, this was a resistance level, which is why it's become a support level. But because each time we've tried to go, we've gone lower basically, we will potentially hit this weekly. Okay, let's go for daily now. See what anything in the daily. Right. So we've got this daily above us, which I think will be resistance, because you can see this level is worked out as resistance. We haven't closed anything above it, so I think that's definitely a good daily to have. And then below us, honestly, these monthly and weekly levels are so good that daily sometimes doesn't even come into play really. Could have this one here really. Yeah, I think this will be it. Okay. And above that, we've got this here, but this, it's been hit twice. So potentially we would go back up to this monthly level, daily level, weekly conferences that we have. A lot of conferences, I think would be good there. Okay. So I think I'm happy with that. I don't think there are much that we need to add on elsewhere, because the big levels are being respected so well. And if we clear this monthly, then I expect us to potentially rotate up to $1.30, take out this high, and then head back down. Yeah. If we clear this monthly. At the moment, this monthly seems to be heavy level of resistance. You can see going back all the way till June. Yeah, solid resistance. Okay. All right, let's put this in a folder. Let's hide the monthlies, so we've only got the weeklies really. Okay. Oops. Yeah. This is a weekly as well. And that will be a daily, I believe. Yeah. Okay. Let's put these into the daily, and we should be sorted. Okay, and that's all done. Right, let's have some high time frame ideas before we do anything else. So let's do Fibonacci. So, and if we turn on the monthly level, so this monthly here is our local monthly, is closer to 0.382, and then we've got the 0.5. The 0.5, we could have reaction off that, but the big one is here at 61866 level, which is, yeah, as you can see on top of this. I don't see why we wouldn't be able to clear this to come back down to, because a lot of people would potentially be taking a short from here with the stop loss here, so the market could just go above it and come back down. But that is if we clear this monthly here at 1.28344. And if we go the other way, so let's do the expansion template, no negative scale. Okay, it's clearly negative, then got the point minus 0.246 around here, which is below this, but let's do it in a different way anyway. So I don't really see, like, and if we do normal Fibonacci template, because we're in a downtrend. Now the issue is, because we're in a downtrend, I don't see us going too far up, to be honest. I mean, if we were starting to clear this, then I'd say, okay, our next level would be the 0.66, the 0.70 level. But I don't see us really going too much above this monthly at all, if that is, if we even hit that. So I don't think this is very helpful to us at the moment. Okay. Let's get rid of that. And so the other one, if we go from our local monthly here, which I think is a really decent one, this one here, because it was support, and we tested the support level, went up. So if we do that, as you can see, this is the reason why we bounced. So this zone was the support where we bounced, and it turned it, hit it again. We made a lower low, so potentially that means support is starting to lose. So this is only a matter of fact before we go and try to take out all these lows again, because you have this low and you have this low. It makes sense for the market to go for this liquidity around here. So I think this monthly is very, very important at 1.2554. I think this is potentially where we will get some support. And if you remember, we also had a parallel channel that we drew coming down. So we go on the 4-hour chart. Okay, this was our high. So we had this parallel channel that was very well respected. We had the top, the middle, as you can see. As you can see, even the middle was respected well. Resistance, turn into support, retest, top of it, come back down, all the way down, touch the support, and again, the middle's support as well. But we've had like quite a few touches if you think about it. 1, 2, 3, 4, down here, 5 touches. So we've sort of, I think, so what usually happens is, in my understanding anyway, is we go to daily chart. So we've come down, right? We've come down, we've had a steep retracement, come up to here, then we're going to go sideways, and then we're going to come down again. So this parallel channel that we drew is probably now out of play, really. It's always in play until it gets invalidated. That's the thing with everything. It's valid until it's valid, and then it's invalidated when the market decides to do something else. So I think personally, especially since the month of August is generally flat, we generally go sideways, and that's what's tends to happen from around here. Surprise, surprise, 3rd of August. So beginning month of August, we've literally gone sideways. So I think we're better off having a new parallel channel. We start off from here. Let's see if that brings us anything. Yeah, I guess nothing too amazing, to be honest. Could keep it nice and straight. Yeah, I think that's probably a better option for us to look at trading, because you've got the resistance, and then you've got your support levels here, and in the middle, you more or less got your resistance / turn into support level. So I think this is a better parallel channel going sideways. 2, 3, 4. We've had a few touches as well, so it only makes sense for us to come back down, because we've had top 1, 2, 3 touches at the top. We've had 1, 2, and having a 3rd touch at the bottom makes sense. And if we do lose these lows, I don't see why we can't hit this monthly and grab all the liquidity that we've seen. So if we go here, on day chart, you can see if we come below here, we're definitely going to go below here, grab all the liquidity here, liquidity there, and potentially liquidity below this as well. That would have been accumulating. So yeah, definitely good level of liquidity. And if we, where's our, yeah, let's do our Fibonacci again. Yeah, as you can see, it would hit the 6.6 level. At least the minimum I would expect is a 6.6 level to be hit. So this makes our trade a lot nice to do, to be honest, if you think about it. Where is it going? Okay, long position. So it makes sense for us to do something like this. And we target the top of this channel as well, at least. And then your stop loss would be around just below the monthly here. And that gives you a nice risk to reward of 5.60. So I think that's definitely a long swing trade that I would take. And similarly, if we were to do the opposite one, for a short, which I would be very much more interested in, that would be, I'm really losing the plot here. Okay, so again, it would be around here. So this is where I look to do the short. So this one I would keep a short stop loss because, as I said, if we do head up, we could go all the way up there. If we were to clear this monthly, let's say your stop loss would be around here, and then you target the bottom of this. So again, the 4.9 risk to reward ratio, I think it's pretty decent as well. So that would be my two options. So if I do this, you can understand. So if we go up here, we'll see the top of this channel, perhaps the monthly, take the short, and then come back down all the way here. Okay, that would be my short position, and the long position would be if we come back down here and get up here, going sideways. I think the best would be if we go up and come back down. I think that would be perfect, because if we go up and take these liquidity here, it's definitely coming back down here. And so one of the reasons I moved on to this chart was so that we could do a volume profile. So let's do the fixed range volume profile all the way from here to here. And as you can see, we're at the point of control of this whole upward movement. And again, another confluence for us at this level is the bottom of this volume profile. So this is obviously where the highest amount of volume of trades we're taking. So that's where we are, point of control. This is low range and this is the high range. This is where we'd go up to. So, and that makes sense as well, because you can see this is where there was solid level of resistance and this is solid level of support. So this adds to our confluence to say this is a high level of confidence. We've got the monthly, we've got the 6-6 level, we've got the volume profile, we've got the bottom of our parallel channel. It's about 4 or 5 levels really. So I think this is the resistance zone area. Actually, it's 0.66, I think 1.258. If it comes down there, definitely I'm going to look for a long position really. Okay. So that's that then. That's for our, these are swing trades by the way. So when you hold from here, you could easily have 2-3 days or weeks before it goes back up here. You could hold on to the trade. So these are all swing trades, not intraday short trades. Okay. And then we only need to turn on the weekly really. Yeah, look at that. The weekly level matches exactly with the 0.66 level. Or how many more constancies do you want, honestly? We've got the dailies there. Yeah. Okay. Monkeys are on, right? Yeah, monkeys are on. Okay. So that's that then. So I'm happy with that. I think those two levels monthly up here, and this zone, this 6-6 level, is just perfect for our support zone there once we get there. Okay. So that's done for our long swing or long-term trade, slightly long-term trade. So let's have a look at intraday trading. So what we're going to do, what's going to be our plan for tomorrow, for example. Okay, so let's go with that as well, and get rid of the fixed range for the time being. Okay. Right, let's find our daily open first. So let's do what we need to do. So we open. There is no bonus. There isn't it? Yeah. So we opened, I believe, just want to make sure, check this out. Oops, instead of that. Just want to know where it counts as opening. So today it's saying that it opened at time, just next time, isn't it? Yeah, it opened at 127,316. 127,316. So open 127,316. Yeah, I see this. Open 127,316. Yeah, that's enough. Okay, so this is our daily open. Right. Yeah, it makes sense with the rewrap as well. So this is our open. Let's turn the magnet back on. Daily open. Right. And the other thing we can now use is the volume profile. Screen volume profile to see what our high and low levels are. So yeah, that makes perfect sense really. So we would look for shorts when you get to the top of the range and longs when you come to below the range. So as well as the daily open. So remember, we always use the daily open because that is technically now a support level. So if we come back down, we have the point of control for this as well, but which would technically be resistance. But if we come back down, the daily open is a support level. If we lose that, then I expect us to at least come back down to the bottom of this channel here, the lower end of this volume profile, at 1.27212. So then if we turn on our dailies to see what's just there, so nothing there, weekly, we're at the weekly level. Well, the daily open is in line with the weekly, so I think that's definitely good support. And the monthly, yeah, so nothing close by to us apart from this weekly, which matches perfectly with the daily as well, so I think that's definitely going to be more support. So if we come back down here, we'll definitely be looking for an intraday long, really. And also, if we do this, so this is our local bottom, take the high, yeah, which makes sense why we've sort of bounced off really. But you know, it's worse, this is the low of the range that we've really bounced off from, but as well as we had those 61866 levels that we've gone up from. Okay, so let's go 30-minute chart and see what we can gives us any better ideas. Yeah. So we've opened here, just here. We've gone below we've accumulated below the daily and slash weekly, gone above it at the point of control, hovering around the point of control. I would say I wouldn't say we've cleared it completely yet, but I would expect a retest somewhere, perhaps maybe early morning or something, off this weekly level before we go up. If we lose the weekly level and start, once we retested it, we could go here, but potentially even lower to the bottom of the channel easily, and then we discuss this monthly, etc. Then our long-term time frame sort of comes into play really. So yeah, so that's my trading plan for the day. One other thing I want to check was, okay, so we've got that. Yeah. Right, so that's based on what the technicals we can see. That we've cleared the point of control almost. Potentially we will retest the point of control with a weekly. You could take a long at the point of control with the stop loss below the weekly, or wait for it to potentially touch the weekly slash daily open, which I think will be a stronger level. So this will be a zone, so I think this will be a stronger level of support, and take a long from there all the way up to the daily up here, which we could potentially do it to the top of the range really as well. But either of these two levels is fine. You could take 50% profit here and wait to see where it plays out from there. That's based pure on technicals, so let's have a look at the markets and see what information could be coming up front. So as per the economic calendar, today is Wednesday, and nothing for the UK, or where we are, 9:30 composite PMI, manufacturing PMI, and services PMI. Nothing at 7 o'clock, so this is 9:30. We do generally get some sort of response from them. How will it fare? Who knows? 50.3, 45, 47.8. I think last time it was relatively bearish, really, because it wasn't as good as it was expected. So it'll be interesting to see. There will be more downward pressure on the pound. So if we were to say this was all bearish for the pound, it wasn't great news. So what that would mean is that around 9:30, by 9:30, we're probably maybe hovering around the daily, and get a wick up to the point of control, to upper range of point of control, and then head back down. So that would be my scenario, thinking aloud, that if that was all bearish. And then at 12 o'clock, we've got the US mortgage, nothing exciting. Building permits, no, nothing really too exciting, to be honest. Got the services PMI at 245, but I don't. Yeah, I mean, they've got 3-star signal effects, a lot high volatility expected, but not really. I haven't really seen it. I don't expect much either, to be honest. And then again, like crude oil inventories, rarely. I'm sure it is for oil, but not the US dollar as much. Okay, so nothing today, and then tomorrow. So Thursday, we've got the big one, I believe. All durable goods orders, not really. Initial jobless claims, there we go. Initial jobless claims, that always definitely has an effect on the market. So that'll be interesting to see. We were at 239, 240. It'll be interesting to see whether that increases or not. If it does, that means interest rates are working. If it doesn't, then expect potential more interest rate increases and an uptick on the dollar. So the dollar will go up if it's below 240, basically. Simple as that. And then Friday, I think we have some more data as well. Thursday, and Friday. Okay, so GBP, nothing exciting, nothing. US, nothing either. Apart from here, the Fed Chair Powell speaks apparently, and apparently this meeting here on Friday, which will be the 25th of August, is apparently quite interesting because wherever he's having that meeting is where people pay a lot of attention to see what he says. He gives out his long-term sort of plan and outline and how he thinks of what's happening. So yeah, that could potentially move the markets that day as well. Yeah, so in the interim, nothing really amazing too much. So going back to this, so yeah, anything around here I would look to short, and anything around here I would long. But remember, it depends on the timing. So the other thing is the timing. So when we're here, it is at 9:30, then perfect, take a short if the data is bearish as well. Similarly, what is the time when you're taking a trade? That always makes a lot of difference. If it's around 1:30 p.m. UK time and you're at a resistance or a support level, it's a good idea to take the trade. And similarly, if it's not, if it's like odd timings, like 10 a.m. or something, and there's no real news, again, think, is it likely to go up? Should I wait a bit? More than likely, you may need to sometimes wait just to see what happens. But sometimes I can see here, like, as soon as London opened, again, London Open is always a good one, 8 o'clock, 8:30, because this high was hit at London Open time on the 20th yesterday. Similarly, the bottom was hit at New York time, New York Open at 2:30. So timings are very, very important. For example, 1:30 there, you had volatility, and you could wait for the US Open as well. So again, timing is very, very important. The other thing I want to do is also look at the DXY. I haven't had a look for this for a while. Because what you will notice, and I'm sure I've mentioned this before as well, is that whatever the GBP is doing, have a look at the DXY. If it's at resistance and GBP at support, probably a good time to take a trade. If it's like if GBP is in the middle and DXY is in the middle, then probably no point taking a trade really. So it's always good to have a quick look at this. So I have some levels on here anyway, but I'm sure these are still valid. Just to see if we've got any monthlies above us. We've got a weekly there, but this is now, well, this is where we are now anyway, so I'll leave that for the time being. So no, nothing below us. We've got this monthly here really. Let's do this quickly now. I don't think they were out of date, but they just weren't organized very well. Okay, so this is monthly here. And we've got the monthly above us. Okay, and above that we've got this one. And one below us. Yeah, I think that's sufficient. I think this monthly sort of covers anyway. And then we go to weekly. Let's put this in. So weekly now. So yeah. And above us, this one here. Yeah, that's been solid support here and resistance for a while, hasn't it? So it's been resistance, come back down, resistance. Potentially to clear it, it'll be very, very solid support. We'd head up to the monthly and all the way up here really. This monthly. Okay. And then below us, we've got this, but it's been come through twice, so I think it probably doesn't provide much support really anymore. But yeah, that's broken through, but it was solid support, so I think it's worth having that in there. Okay, and above us we've got the monthly, this weekly here, hasn't been broken yet, well, almost, but definitely works out to be resistance, so yeah. And then daily, I don't think we'll even bother because we're not intraday trading, and generally speaking, the monthly and the weekly levels are so well respected that we don't really need daily. Like, why would you put a daily here if you've got a monthly here? And similarly, below you've got the next sort of daily you've got is here anyway, but you've got this weekly, so again, it makes no sense. So yeah, I'm happy with that, and that's all we need really. That's what I would look at. So, for example, if we go for the 15-minute charts, so you can see, look how well it's respected support, sort of run through it. And we've sort of turned into resistance now, really. So, but could still do a reverse. We're still around the weekly zone, really. So as this is coming down, that means GBP is pumping. As you can see, that's pumping. So potentially when we hit the daily, if we're hitting the daily here, or the top of the zone, and at the same time we're hitting this weekly down here, I would say, yeah, that's definitely a good time to take a long on the GBP, because this is coming at support, and this is at resistance, and vice versa. So that's always good to keep an eye on that. And you notice sometimes that this might drop, like have a sharp drop, Whereas this is, let's go too much just to give it a better time frame. So whereas this may, be going slowly, and whereas this is dropping really, really fastly. Sometimes it happens, sometimes they go the other way around. So it's just to keep an eye on it, see where it is at the point that you're about to trade. But I like to leave it as 30 minutes. I think it gives the better levels, and it gives you the high time frame volume profile range as well. Okay. Yeah, that's about it really. I hope you've enjoyed that. The only other thing I wanted to show you was, just for fun really, is, you remember when where is it gone? Our good old friend XRP, here we go. So our good old friend XRP. So if you remember a few, let's go daily chart actually, probably had it. A few weeks back we had this massive pump, what people called the God Candle, and XRP to like $3 and $27 and $100, something stupid like, you had a 73% pump in one day. And look at that, surprise, surprise, lo and behold, we've taken out everything. So every single person that had long, even here, so got it here exactly, all here. I'm sure a lot of people will be better around here, right? Or when it cleared this and, took a long expecting it to go to $1, $2, whatever, right? Every single person has been liquidated. Well, maybe not liquidated, but at least their stop loss has been hit. Unless they took profits, and healthy profits, the trade is invalidated. And this is why trading purely on news has its pitfalls, especially in crypto, because it's so much more easy to manipulate and move around. So this is why you've seen the camel here, and it's gone down, and it's taken out all the liquidity there. So can't imagine how many people were forced, or stop losses were hit. Remember, so when a stop loss is hit, it is a market sell on a long. So when when you take a long, and then your stop loss is hit, you're forced to sell at the add to market price. That's what it is, and that obviously cascades it. And then this is probably why it dropped so much, because once it started coming down here, people's stop loss is starting here, so they're forced to sell at a lower price, which was selling these price went even lower and lower, and eventually somebody decided to buy up at 38 cents. So imagine that. It's gone from, where is it? Why did I do this? Okay. So it's gone from, so we had a 73% pump, remember? And then it's dumped 59, 60%. So we've had a 73% pump, and then it's from there to there, it's a 59%, 60% dump. So, yeah. And then price-wise, obviously, because everyone that's taken it long from here is out. I just thought I'd share that with you because I find that quite amusing, because I remember when it pumped and everyone was bullish on XRP. So it got to $100. It's like not even understanding what the market would be like if XRP hit $100. It would be like crazy. What would be the market valuation of crypto or Bitcoin be if XRP is at $100? Just impossible. Well, maybe not impossible, but highly, highly unlikely. And this is why you don't follow people like that, because anyone that would have taken trade A's and holding on to at least $1 would have had their stop loss hit. Okay. So my other theory is, I just wanted to go with you over with you, was that you remember when, let's hide this and I can show you a little bit better. So you remember when we were, so when did crypto and everything become really, really bullish? Like when did asset prices go really well? It was at COVID time, right? When COVID hit, which was about March. So I think this was when we had the whole March 2020 is when oil went to negative territory and everything happened, right? And basically the money printers were turned on. right? The money printers were turned on, and like probably better off giving you the S&P 500. So that would be better. Okay. I don't trade the S&P 500. I don't know when it's just for fun. Okay. Right. So there we go, March 2020, right? And this is when like oil went to like negative territory, everything dumped, and then the money printers were turned on. Interest rates, were suddenly brought down really, really low. They were already low, but then just make sure it was as low as possible. And the money printers were turned on, and everything pumped, right? And this is where last year, when the interest rates started to rise, and we started to have a bit of a dump again, October 2022, and we've had a bit of a rise, but potentially we're looking to come down. So my theory is that interest rates are now at 6%, right? Roughly 5.5, 6%, roughly around the area. These are very, very high for the economy that we're used to. So when this pumped, this was not with 6% interest rate, right? So, and then the Fed, in my opinion, have increased interest rates really, really quickly, really, really quickly. So what's going to happen now is either something's going to break, whether it's the housing market, potentially unlikely, but like the banks, or I don't think they'll take matter to with employment too much because the Fed wants to see unemployment rise. But something like the banks will go down under, or the stock market will suddenly collapse or dump down a bit. And then when something breaks because of how high interest rates are, what will the Fed have to do? The Fed can either let it go and have other banks go under, have things go really bad, or they can reverse the interest rate increase and turn on the money printers. That's the only option they have. They can either leave interest rates as they are and potentially have downward spiral of the stock market, of the banks, and then potentially a really, really high unemployment to control inflation. Or the alternative would be to let inflation run as it is, decrease interest rates, turn on the money printers, and prop up the stock market. And personally, in my opinion, in October, November time, this is what they will do. They will reverse the interest rate decision. They will say, it's been gone too high. We need to give some confidence to the market. Turn on the money printers, quantitative easing, and then all the asset prices will go up. That's when the S&P 500 will go up. That's when Bitcoin will go up. That's when all the other asset prices will just go up, and the dollar will go down, because it's either the dollar that will go up or the asset prices will go up, and the asset prices will go up. So that'll be interesting to see. So I want to see what happens when we get to October, November, what happened in terms of our wave count for the pound. But potentially the same thing could be happening to the pound as well. So it could potentially be that the Bank of England decides we're going to decrease the interest rates, reverse the interest rate increase that we've had, turn on the money printers, and so the London Stock Exchange, the FTSE 100, that starts to pump, asset prices start to pump, and the GBP decides to come down. So it could potentially be that the GBP still goes down, because overall perhaps the dollar's going down and the GBP is going down, but in relative to each other, it carries on heading with its elite wave count and carries on heading down. So exciting times ahead to see what happens. Let me know what you think about that theory. Hope you enjoyed this charting. Let me know what you think, and I shall speak to you guys soon. All the best. Take care. Bye-bye.